let me ask you something. If rings define greatness, then how come Bill Russell isn't considered the greatest of all time? He's got 11 of them, more than anyone else. But we still put Jordan, Kobe, LeBron over him. So clearly it's not all about rings, but for some reason that's all people are talking about. So I recently saw a talk of T-Mac, Stephen A, and Gilbert Arenas, and they got into this all ring culture thing. So basically the thing is, if you didn't win a championship, you're not in the same category as guys who did. And that's always been a weird one to me. Take for an instance Charles Barkley, Hall of Famer, MVP, All-NBA, one of the best to ever do it. He's one of the greatest power forwards ever. But because he doesn't have a ring, he's not talked about like guys who did, like Bird, like Jordan. And even he said they're on a different room than I am, on a different level. Then T-Mac said the following: "A championship is a team award. Why should I be diminished if I didn't win one? I was never put in a position to succeed." And watching him say that, honestly, it made me uncomfortable. Because here's a guy who gave everything he had to the game, and now he needs to defend his entire legacy for a thing that isn't even in his control. So that made me think how this whole thing even starts. And I think it starts with Michael Jordan. He's the standard, he's the GOAT. He made rings the ultimate measuring stick. Remember when he was asked in the interview about Kobe versus LeBron who's better? And he just said 5 beats 4. No nuance, just rings equals better. And I think ever since that's been the rule. And let's be honest, if that's the rule, then shouldn't Bill Russell be considered the greatest player of all time? The man has 11 rings. More MVPs than Kobe, more accolades than most of the other players. But we don't put him in the same conversation as MJ. So like I said, it's not all about rings. And the truth is, winning a championship takes a lot more than talent. You need the right teammates, the right coach, you need timing, and even more than that, you need luck and health. Let's look at T-Mac's career. Injuries were a big part of it. In 2009, that Rockets team, they took the Lakers to 7 games, even without T-Mac, and with a 40-year-old Dikembe Mutombo to battle against Gasol and Bynum. And even with Yao Ming breaking his foot on game 3, that's a crazy achievement. Now imagine if they were all healthy. Who knows how far they could have gone. So when T-Mac said, if I had swapped places with Kobe, I would have won. I would have gotten the ring as well. Then I get where he's coming from. He was dominating in Orlando in those Laker years where they won championships. But it's complicated because those teams with Yao Ming, those teams were legit. They were deep, they were built to win. They had defenders, 3-point shooters around Yao and T-Mac. And the thing about Kobe versus T-Mac, if we compare talent to talent, yeah, T-Mac is longer, he's taller, and even Kobe said he's just a 6'10" version of me, can do everything I do, but he's 6'10", which really is more about somewhere around 6'9" maybe. The biggest difference is durability. Like we all know, so he showed up every season, every series, and that's the biggest difference. So if T-Mac had been on the Lakers these years, who's to say he would have stayed healthy? We don't know that. So let's talk about this year's finals. OKC won the title. It was an amazing run, but they faced an injured Pacers team. Their star player went down on an Achilles injury. And the winners from last year, the juggernaut Boston Celtics, that team was riddled with injuries. You had Jason Tatum going down on the same Achilles injury. There were reports that also Jaylen Brown was injured. We all know KP was injured as well. Even Drew Holiday. If it wasn't for that, the playoffs would have been different. So that's what I mean. Championships come down to a lot of things besides individual talent. It's not only on the shoulders of one player. Right place, right time, the matchups, the injury, being on the Western Conference versus the Eastern Conference. And some teams never even try to contend because you have a Jordan or LeBron that's blocking them from even trying. It's like, why even bother? You need a front office that's all in. You need a coach who can adjust. Doc Rivers, that's not you. You need your stars healthy, and even key role players make a huge difference. And yet in the end, we look at the player and just say, did you win or not? So yeah, to this point, I do agree with T-Mac. Absolutely. Rings shouldn't be the only thing that defines greatness. But here's the hard truth. People remember the winners. They remember the parade. They remember the trophy. They remember the shot that sealed the game. And who took it, of course. That's what gets replayed everywhere. That's what becomes history. So even if it's not fair, that's usually how the story goes. So what do you guys think? Is T-Mac wrong about it? Is he right? What about that Kobe versus T-Mac? Do you guys think T-Mac would have won if he swapped places with Kobe? Was he in a position to win or not? Let's talk about it. And I'll see you next time.